everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to talk about manifesting wisely on this 1111 portal. As 1111 is a very powerful energetic portal, and I have experienced that in my life that 1111 is a really powerful number vibrationally, and it helps you to manifest your thoughts, your vision into reality. So I see 1111 as a reminder of where we are giving our energy. What are we manifesting? What are we holding dominantly in our energy field? And what I have noticed is most of the time, what we are thinking about dominantly, our default mindset when it comes to the future, when it comes to manifesting our future self, our vision, our highest version. The problem with the ego, with our conditioning is that we are preparing for the worst case scenario. We are always in a survival mode, and because of that, the most of our energy is just draining, thinking about the worst case scenario, preparing for the worst case scenario. A lot of people's life is just spent on securing their life. It's like they are reacting to that survival energy. They are always preparing for something that's gonna happen in the future and that's gonna be bad for them. So your dominant energy is going towards worst case scenario, fear, the things that can go wrong. And the thing that creates your reality, manifests your reality, is your attention. So where are you giving your attention when you are thinking about the worst case scenario? When you are thinking about the things that can go wrong in the future, you are manifesting a reality where you are not in alignment with your highest version. And definitely in the world of the matrix, you will get the validation for living always in the fear of worst case scenario, always preparing for it, always getting ready for it. Other people will see that as normal because fear is normal in the matrix. But always focusing on the best case scenario is seen as something crazy. And the best case does not mean positive. The best case means thinking about the future and seeing a reality where everything is happening in your favor. Everything is working out as you want to work out without any expectations, without any attachment to that reality. When you are thinking about the worst case, do you have the attachment? Do you have the attachment that I want this to happen? No. Actually, you are fear driven. Similarly, when you are thinking about the best case scenario, you love yourself. You are love driven. You understand that I create my reality. So why not focus on the best case scenario? So whenever you see this number, become aware that what am I thinking about? Where is my attention going? Because my attention is creating reality. And energy is feed on your attention. The energy of worst case scenario, fear, they all feed on your attention. The moment you take away the attention from those energies, you become instantly free. So as long as we don't have an awareness of our attention, we are not manifesting wisely. By default, the ego, the conditioning, the matrix is creating your reality. It is manifesting it for you, and we live in the illusion of choice that we are creating it. But unfortunately, the more you prepare for the worst case scenario, the less you tap into the best case scenario. Best case scenario is always in this moment. You can tap into it right now. It is not in the future. If you are thinking about the best case, you are tapping into a vibration that is available right here and right now. And similar is the case with the worst case. When you are thinking about the worst case, your body goes into anxiety. You start feeling anxious. You start shaking. What's happening? Things are not unfolding right now, but still you are afraid because you can tap into the vibration in this moment. So this now moment, this present moment is the portal to access all the scenarios in the future. The choice is yours that in which scenario you are giving energy to. So whenever you are trying to focus on the best case scenario, it can be after your meditation, it can be a visualization that you do. Whenever you are tapping into your highest version in the future and you are in the best case scenario, you will notice a fear will come along with it. That will tell you It will not happen like this. So don't suppress that fear. Understand that fear. You can't run away from your fears. Let them surface up. Don't try to run away. Don't try to shove it down. Let it come up and observe it. Understand it. And see that it is there. And the moment you start accepting that fear, alchemy happens. The fear can only control you when it is in your unconscious. When you think, like, I am more than my fear, I am fearless, you are creating another extreme of yourself, a part of you that is fighting that fear. And in that moment, you are creating fragmentation within yourself. You are not accepting your fear, that it is there. So accept it, observe it, notice it. And if it is making you anxious, become anxious, but transform it. The moment you completely accept it and you recognize it instead of shoving it down, ignoring it, you are able to transform it. It can't happen unless you accept it. Acceptance is the key to transformation of any energy. Acceptance is the key to alchemy. If you can learn to accept, there is no need to ignore fear, run away from fear, to become fearless. You can just notice it, accept it, that it is coming up. And the more you see it as it is, the more you can transform. Then you don't have to fight with your fear. But the problem with the ego is, the moment it sees the fear is coming up, it starts getting afraid of fear. It has the fear of having fear. It is so afraid, it is so in the survival mode that it is always in fear. That's why in our matrix, there is a huge demand for security. Because security means you're preparing for the worst case that may never unfold, that may never happen. But in the present moment, all your energy is getting drained for creating that security, for creating something that is related to something that will not happen in the future. That something is just imaginary, it's just in your mind. It's a story of the future. And we just live in that. We don't realize that what's real is this moment. What's real is the vibration that's here and now. And don't think when you accept the fear and alchemize it, you are lowering your vibration. Actually, when you accept it and transform it, it's becoming a part of you. It's like converting darkness into light. And now that is helping you to raise your vibration. You are letting it go. You're transforming it. But if you let it be there, sit in the corner, sooner or later it will come up again and it will control you. So the present moment is very important. Tap into it. Become mindful again and again. And that's why you see these numbers. The universe is communicating to you through these numbers. It is telling you to become aware, to become conscious. Where are you giving your attention? Where are you giving your energy? Are you manifesting wisely? Are you focusing on the vision of your future self that is the most aligned? Are you focusing on the best case scenario, like everything is working out in your favor? Or are you just focusing on the security that will help you deal with the worst case scenario that may not happen ever? It's just a lie. The more you are kept in fear by the matrix, the more you believe this story that the worst will happen, the less you will tap into your true power. You will be busy always preparing for the worst that's gonna happen. And this brings me to a very important point. When we are in this fear of the worst case scenario, our motivation for life is fear. Fear becomes your motivation. Fear runs your life. You're always afraid. Fear is your fuel. You have no energy to think of purpose, to think of something higher. Because you are at the very base level. You are just at survival consciousness. How can you see beyond that? So when you are always living, thinking about the worst case scenario, fear is your motivation for life. And when fear is your motivation for life, you will only stay at survival consciousness. A higher possibility where you can embody your highest version, that just remains a possibility. That just remains a potential. You can never tap into that. Because all your practical aspects, the ego thinks it is not practical to focus on the best case. So this practicality will come in between. And it will sound so logical. Yes, it is logical to not follow the dreams, to not follow my purpose, to not focus on the best case scenario. It sounds logical, but it is actually limiting because you have a limitless aspect, your higher self, your spiritual nature. The physical aspect is just one dimension of it. And if you see things energetically, you are much more powerful. But are you manifesting your reality by realizing that you are also a spiritual being? Are you manifesting just with the ego, or are you manifesting with your soul? You manifest with your soul when your motivation is not from fear. You are inspired from within. And your inspiration is purpose, is giving, is love. When you are living from your soul, when you are living for something higher, now you don't need motivation, you have inspiration. You are not fighting the worst case, you are not living for survival, for security. You are living for purpose. You are living to share what you have with the world. And that is love. To share your energy. Not to just take, not to just be in survival and just think about yourself all the time, but to think of the collective. How can I help the collective to evolve, to expand their consciousness in any way or form? How can I help them? You can only think of this when you have love within your heart, when you tap into your higher self. The practical self, the ego, is always interested in survival. It can't see beyond that. And we are not just here to survive. That's why we have heart. We have love. So that we can share our gifts, so that we can help others in their life. It can be in any way or form. But for that, you need to focus on your own best case scenario. You need to get yourself out of your fear-driven matrix. You have to stop letting fear drive your life. And the moment the purpose, the love becomes your inspiration, now everything unfolds itself. You don't need to think about the future all the time. Moment to moment, you can take steps that are the most aligned with you, and everything takes care of itself. If you think in terms of practicality, this will not make sense. This is absolutely nonsense from the perspective of ego, the logical mind. But I ask you to trust your own experience. A lot of times it happens that when we are living life spontaneously, when we are flowing in life, not fearing life, we just bump into things. There is the snowball effect. Because our vibration becomes so strong, so potent. Fear is the lowest vibration. Just think about it. If lowest vibration is motivating you, if fear is your motivation, in what vibration you will be? You will not be accessing your highest version. So realize the power of your attention. Wherever you give your attention, that's creating your reality. Manifest wisely. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You can like, comment, and share. You can also support me by hitting the thanks button. Thank you for taking the time to subscribe. Much love to you all.